Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Andrew Warren, and in today's video, we're going to be doing our daily transparency update as usual. So if you're new here, that's pretty much just me talking about the gains or the losses with a portfolio for every single stock market day. Sometimes we actually have really good days like the last couple of days and today as well. And then sometimes we also have some more unfortunate days where it's pretty far into the red, whether that's at minus 20K, minus 30K, or if it's at plus 30K or plus 20K. I just like to have that transparency and also just post these videos to interact with people and to kind of like keep this as a record for my future, because I think we are going to grow this portfolio tremendously over the years to come, and it's going to be pretty fun to look back on that. So anyways, with all of that being said, please make sure to smash that like button if you enjoy the Tesla videos. But just getting into this one for today, as the title states, we have hit another all-time high for Tesla stock. That includes not only just an all-time high close, but also an all-time high in general. And the even cooler thing about that is the all-time high close was the all-time high part of this day as well. So it's not like we hit an all-time high in the midday and then we had an all-time high close. But no, we had the all-time high at the end of the day. If we take a look at this 4 p.m. marker, it says 0%, but you can look at 5 minutes before that, it was at plus 3.16%, and then it goes up a little bit more once it hits 4 p.m. That's when the after hours start. But in general, the last part of the normal market hours, we hit the peak of the day, which is always a good day. I would consider the days where you start out pretty low and continue to incline upwards towards the end of the day, and it just keeps on breaking the record previously. Those are some of the best days that you can get in the stock market, because it just keeps on beating your expectations and it gets you even more excited towards the end of the day as you see the portfolio grow. And then I'll also like the fact that we've just locked in another pretty good growth day for Tesla stock. The only downside to having a huge growth movement in the after hours is that it has to maintain that for the next day as well in the normal market hours. And if it ends up being like plus 5% in after hours and the next day it goes under that, then it's kind of disappointing because it teases you a little bit with the day before, and it has to maintain that level or go higher for it to exceed your expectations. So that's another thing as well. Sometimes I just prefer it for after hours to be a little bit low key, whether it's in the red slightly or in the green slightly. I kind of prefer that because you really get to be excited about the next day's growth if it starts to go up tremendously, rather than that already being hinted at ahead of time. And then once it gets into those normal market hours, there is the possibility of it going lower and you just being disappointed. But anyways, just taking a look at Tesla's share price, it is currently at a share value of $574.40. That is a plus 3.42% gain overall, including both the after hours and the normal market hours. And to just break down the portfolio specifically, we are currently at an all-time high of $229,548.17. In the normal market hours, we had a plus 3.37% gain. That was plus $7,472.27. And then in the after hours currently, we are at plus 0.07%, which is plus $160.52. So like I said, one of the best days that you could really ask for, even though it wasn't like plus 8%. This is still a pretty big day for stocks in general. Maybe not for Tesla stock, considering we're so accustomed to those really huge growth days, but in general, the consensus is that this is a really solid growth day. You rarely get this with many of the other stocks out there. And to address Tesla stock's movement throughout the day, like I said, there was that general trend upwards, but at 9 a.m. in the pre-market, it started out at minus 1.88%. So in the morning, it actually wasn't looking too hot for Tesla, but as we got further on into the day, as you can see with the chart, then it started to look a lot better. Continuing on until it hits the normal market hours at 9:30 a.m., it was at minus 0.95%. We got a spike upwards to this peak at 9:35 a.m. That brought it back over the line into the green, and then it drops back down, and we have some volatility here and there, and it hits this point at 10:15 a.m. at minus 1.41%, and then that's where it starts to have that general incline upwards with some volatility here and there. But like I said, in general, the trend was upwards, and especially when we hit this time frame from 11:10 a.m. all the way until this point at 4 p.m. So that was a really nice growth spurt right there. Had a little bit of the dip around the midday at 1 to 2 p.m. But in general, like I said, we ended off the day at the highest point of the normal market hours, which is always one of the best things you can ask for. For the transparency with the portfolio's timeframes, for the past week, we are currently at plus 16.83%. That is plus $33,067.39. For the past month, we are currently at plus 36.16%. That is plus $60,957. $1,061.82. For the past 3 months, we are at plus 37.70%. That is plus $62,841.46. And then finally, for the past year, we are at plus 123.54%, which is plus $126,815.44. So not only am I really excited about this being an all-time high for the portfolio, but we've also managed to double the portfolio in under a year. Like I've said in previous videos, I started investing on Robinhood on December 2nd, so we're just a few days from that, and I'm really excited to see how we end the year on December 2nd in terms of just that growth percentage. But I think we are nearing, if not already past, the previous all-time high growth percentage as well. I do believe that we hit around plus over 100%, but I don't think that we've ever reached this big of a percentage gain overall with a portfolio until now. So I think we have hit an all-time high for the portfolio, and we've managed to double the portfolio value, and also with that we have the highest gain percentage ever so far. So a lot of things to be excited about, and of course if you're new here, here's the all-time chart as well. It's pretty much just the same thing. It says 0.53 and 0.54. I guess there's a tiny bit of a difference there. I don't know why though, because as you can see, December 2nd is the only date that the numbers start to move. So I don't know why there's a difference there, but basically it hasn't been a year yet. We're getting close to that though. And just referencing Tesla stock as well, this is another example of how having confidence in a company that you've done your research on, and based on that research you have faith in your investment because of that reasoning and logic behind it, then this is a situation like how we saw this point on August 31st all the way up until this point on November 16th. That took a lot of patience for investors to hold over a lot of this volatility that we see here. This is a big dip that we saw on August 31st. After that was a minus 22% dip. Then I think it dropped at minus 12% after that. So that was a really big dip, especially for the new investors out there that bought Tesla. That was a pretty notable dip for people to have to power through, but it really is rewarding for those investors that had confidence in their investment and did not hesitate to continue believing in that research. So this is just a situation right here where patience does pay off, especially when you've done your research and you know that you're likely right on an investment decision. Then this just shows how it can pay off if you continue to have that patience and understand the basics of investing, which pretty much involves buying and holding long term. At least that's one of my preferred strategies. I feel like that is true investing, when you buy a company and you hold it for the long term because you think it's going to be worth a lot in the many years to come. And that's very different from what we've seen a lot of people do with Tesla that think they're investing, but they're actually just trading the stock. For example, when it hit this peak right here and they had that huge dip when it dropped down 22%, a lot of people were starting to sell off because they didn't actually believe in the company like they pretended to or like they thought they did. And that really separates the investors from the people who think they're investing. And sometimes that can be a good weed out scenario where it gets the people out of Tesla stock that are contributing to that volatility and that are not going to hold it for the long term. And then it brings in more of those Tesla investors that have that higher risk tolerance and have faith in the company, and they start picking up some of those shares from the weaker hands, which it can actually be a good thing for Tesla in that situation because you have a transfer from weaker hand investors to the stronger ones, which can be a good thing for the rest of us long-term investors because that just means that we get a discount for one thing, and that it also starts to take up more of that supply in comparison to the demand, where a lot of people are just simply holding their shares for many decades to come into the future. And that is another thing about Tesla as well. We have a lot of Tesla investors that are in it for the long term. And as I've stated in previous videos, for it to be worth buying Tesla right now, you pretty much have to be in it for the long term. You pretty much have to be wanting to hold Tesla stock for the many years to come in the future. So that's the thing about a lot of people buying right now, and those that have bought in the past, they're thinking with a long-term perspective, which is much different from some of the other stocks out there that commonly see a bunch of traders swarming in. And that even goes along with some of the stocks with that quote EV bubble that we see right now. And I do believe that there is an EV bubble aside from Tesla stock. It's pretty much everyone else just getting excited based off of Tesla and thinking that they can get similar gains with a stock that hasn't grown as much as Tesla, or one that hasn't accomplished as much as a company as Tesla so far, but they think that's going to happen in the future. And don't get me wrong, I do believe that there's going to be some successful companies out there that are startup EV companies. However, it's important to take into consideration that there's a lot of companies and startups right now that are taking advantage of this hype around Tesla, and that can turn out bad in some scenarios. And this is just my opinion, of course, but I think if someone is wanting to invest in EVs, if they're wanting to find a high quality company, I think Tesla is just simply worth investing in more because they're already accomplishing a lot of things in terms of deliveries. They have big goals towards the future, and there's so many things going on with the growth aspects of this company right now, where I think if someone is going to choose between Tesla or some of these other EV startup stocks, it would just be a better idea, at least in a personal scenario for me to choose Tesla. I just think it makes much more sense if you run the numbers long term. Tesla has their hands in so many different pies right now that it's ridiculous. Anyways, just checking out the movement for today for Tesla specifically, we had a plus 3.53% gain. That is plus $7,873.57. And then for the total return, we are currently at plus 88.75%, which is plus $108,443.88. With this portfolio update, I just wanted to have some transparency and show you all the movements for today. Definitely excited about Tesla hitting an all-time high once again, and I would not be surprised at all if a $600 share price isn't too far off. Please make sure to smash that like button if you all enjoyed this video, and also feel free to check out my referral links in the description below. You can get some free stocks, and especially with Webull, you can get 2 free stocks for using my referral link. Those can be valued up to $250, and then you can also get 2 more on top of that that are valued up to $1,600, and to get those, you would have to deposit $100 into your account. I believe you can take that $100 right back out after you get your free stocks. That's what I did, and it worked for me. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week.